October 24th, 1907. New York City. You have one night to stop the American financial system from collapsing. Banks are running out of cash. By morning, depositors are packed against bank doors, withdrawal slips folded in gloved hands. Men who were millionaires yesterday are begging for their money back today. And somewhere on Wall Street, a rumor is spreading faster than anyone can stop it. Another bank may be next, then another, then another. There is just one problem. America has no Federal Reserve, no central bank, no emergency system built to flood Wall Street with cash the moment everyone panics at once. If this spreads by morning, no one is sure where it stops. Not the Treasury, not the president, not the bankers. So tonight, they come to you. Before we begin this journey, if you also enjoy discovering the secrets behind the success of extraordinary people, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's a simple action, but it helps this channel reach more people who are striving to achieve greater things in life, just like you. And now, imagine opening your eyes one morning and realizing that you are that person. The journey begins. Your name is John Pierpont Morgan. You are 70 years old. And right now, some of the richest men in America are sitting inside your private library on Madison Avenue, arguing about who is going to pay to save the financial system. You look at the clock. They keep arguing. You are not the president. You were never elected. You do not work for the government. You are a private citizen who happens to run a bank. So how does one private banker end up holding the country's fate inside his own library, with nobody in Washington able to do a single thing about it? Tonight, America is collapsing. To understand why everyone is waiting for you to save it, you have to understand how you became the most powerful banker alive. It didn't start with a railroad. It didn't start with steel. It started with something smaller and far more dangerous. Before any of that, you should know what it's like to be in a room with you. You hate cameras. Photographers learn quickly that flattering angles are appreciated. Your stare becomes almost as famous as your money. Men who walk into your office know immediately who controls the room. Now, go back 40 years. You're just Junius Morgan's son, sent to Europe to learn the family trade the way other rich kids get sent to learn tennis. You don't start from nothing. Your father runs a banking house in London. Your job is just to climb faster than anyone else ever has. But the country you're climbing into is unstable in a way that's hard to picture today. You cross America carrying money that might be trusted in one state and questioned in the next. Hundreds of banks issue their own paper notes. Some are backed by real reserves. Some are barely worth the ink they're printed with. There is no central institution standing behind any of it. And somewhere in that chaos, you notice something almost nobody else does. In a country drowning in uncertainty, certainty itself can be sold. That becomes your product. Not loans, not stocks, your name. If Morgan is attached to a deal, the deal is safe. Full stop. That promise becomes so valuable that within a few decades, Wall Street starts using your last name as a verb. When you tear apart a bankrupt railroad's finances and rebuild it from the ground up, bankers just call it Morganization. Here's the part that will define the rest of your life. There is one thing you seem to distrust more than a bad investment: chaos. A railroad war, a collapsing treasury, an industry tearing itself apart through competition, a banking panic. Everywhere you look, you see the same problem: disorder. And every time, your solution is the same: control. This is the bargain America quietly makes with you. The country gives you its trust. In return, you give it order. But every crisis leaves you holding a little more control than before. You don't make chaos disappear. You put it under management. Back in your library, the clock is still moving, and America is running out of time. Imagine arriving at a train station and finding two groups of hired men fighting over who owns it. not metaphorically. Actually fighting? Fists, clubs, one side holding the tracks, the other holding the paperwork, and somewhere behind all of it, millions of dollars. That's 1869. Two rival financiers, Jay Gould and Jim Fisk, try to seize the Albany and Susquehanna Railroad by force. Most men would see chaos. You see an opportunity to decide who wins? You don't send thugs. You send lawyers, buy up proxy votes, and beat a street fight using nothing but paperwork. That becomes your signature for the next 30 years, because railroads aren't just trains. They're the nervous system of the American economy. Whoever controls the rail lines controls how goods move, which means they control the price of nearly everything downstream. Every time a railroad collapses from overbuilding and price wars, you're there, turning wreckage into control. One line at a time. You're building something the country doesn't have a name for yet. A private power broker who can move faster and hit harder than the government itself. That's the exact skill you're about to need, because in 1895, the United States government is about to run out of gold. By 1895, the situation has become almost unthinkable. The federal government is running dangerously low on gold reserves. Confidence in the dollar depends on the government's ability to redeem key forms of paper currency for gold on demand. And gold is leaving Treasury vaults faster than Washington can replace it. This is a national emergency, and Washington is running out of conventional options. You have two choices. Let the government keep searching for a political solution while the reserve disappears. Or put your own reputation, your own network, and enormous private capital behind a rescue. You choose the second. Of course you do. You assemble a private syndicate of financiers, including the Rothschild banking dynasty in Europe, and personally arrange for over 3.5 million ounces of gold to be sold to the US government in exchange for bonds. The negotiations aren't friendly. President Cleveland's administration doesn't love leaning on private bankers to fix a government problem, but the deal gets done because it has to. A group of private bankers helps stabilize the finances of the federal government of the United States. You make a substantial profit on the deal. The newspapers are furious, accusing you of profiteering off a national crisis. Morgan, unsurprisingly, is less troubled by this than the editorial writers are. In the absence of a central bank, you are functioning like one, privately for profit, answering to no voters. You saved the Treasury once. 12 years from now, saving the government will look easy by comparison. But first, you're going to build something the world has never seen. 1901. Steel is not just another business. Steel builds the rails, the bridges, the skyscrapers, the ships, the factories. Modern America is being built out of it. You buy Andrew Carnegie's steel empire for roughly $480 million, instantly making Carnegie the richest man alive. Carnegie names his price on a slip of paper. You look at it once and agree. Then you merge the company with several other steel producers into one, United States Steel Corporation. Roughly 2/3 of all American steel production, under one roof, answering to you, $1.4 billion. In 1901, the number is enormous even by modern standards. Relative to the size of the entire American economy at the time, it was staggering. Nothing on that scale had ever been assembled before. You have just put a foundational material of modern America under one corporate roof. Naturally, this makes people nervous, including the President of the United States. Theodore Roosevelt is about to build his political identity around breaking up trusts exactly like yours. In 1902, his administration sues one of your railroad holding companies. You have solved almost every conflict in your life the same way. Get the important men into a room, close the door, make a deal. So you suggest exactly that to Roosevelt's government. Send your man, I'll send mine, we'll work something out. Roosevelt is unmoved. You still don't understand. This time, the man across the table isn't another banker. He's the government. You've spent 30 years being the man who quietly fixes everything behind closed doors. You're about to learn the president doesn't need your permission. And 6 years from now, the whole country is going to need you again anyway. The biggest test yet. October 1907. A failed attempt to corner the copper market sets off a chain reaction. Depositors panic and start pulling their money out of the Knickerbocker Trust Company, one of New York's largest trusts. Word spreads through the city by telephone, by telegraph, by rumor passed teller to teller. Within days, it's tearing through other banks and trusts across New York. This isn't just Wall Street money. Behind those bank doors are payrolls, factory wages, family savings, small businesses that need cash to open tomorrow morning. If credit freezes, the panic doesn't stay on Wall Street. It moves into factories, stores, and homes. 40 years ago, you learned that certainty could be sold. Tonight, America is buying every ounce of it you have left. There is no Federal Reserve to stop it. So the country turns to a 70-year-old private citizen and asks him to do, overnight, the job a central bank would normally do. You call an emergency meeting of New York's leading bankers inside your private library. Cigar smoke hangs above the table. Messengers keep opening the door with another sheet of numbers. Which trusts are still solvent, which aren't. Younger men you trust, including a sharp young banker named Benjamin Strong, who will later become the first governor of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, are sent out to physically examine the books and report back the truth. Here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. There isn't enough money in the room to save everyone. Some institutions are merely short on cash. Others are already rotten. Save the wrong one, and you waste money the healthy banks desperately need. Let the wrong one fail, and panic spreads across the city anyway. So men arrive carrying balance sheets, and one by one, they come to you, each one forcing the same question. Who can still be saved? For a moment, late in the evening, it looks like the worst may be over. Then another message arrives. A major trust needs cash before morning. More than anyone expected. The rescue you just built isn't enough. By late evening, the bankers in the next room are still arguing about who should put up the money. Nobody wants to move first. You've never had less patience for it. Near midnight, the room goes quiet. Men who control fortunes are staring at each other, waiting for someone else to move first. Nobody does. You look at the doors. Then you make a decision. The story that survives from that night is almost too perfect to be fully verified down to the last detail, but multiple accounts agree on the outline. You have the library doors locked, and you keep the key. Nobody leaves until they sign. By the early hours of the morning, pens finally start moving across paper. By the time the sun comes up, you've personally organized tens of millions of dollars pledged from the city's major banks to prop up the ones in danger, and convinced Rockefeller and the U.S. Treasury to commit even more. The panic of 1907 begins to ease largely because one private citizen coordinated, in days, a rescue that today would mobilize institutions America had not even invented yet. For one night. You are the system. And that is exactly the problem. Because the moment the panic passes, a much more uncomfortable question starts spreading through Washington. What happens the next time there's a crisis and J.P. Morgan isn't in the room? 1912. You're older now, tired, under oath. Congress convenes the Pujo Committee, an investigation into whether a small circle of Wall Street bankers led by you effectively controls the flow of credit across the United States. 40 years earlier, you built an empire on one idea: trust. They ask you, point blank, what commercial credit is really based on: money or property or something else entirely? In essence, you tell them it comes down to character. That a man you don't trust couldn't get money from you on any amount of collateral, and a man you do trust barely needs any at all. It's a striking answer, delivered by an old man who clearly believes every word of it. It's also, depending who you ask, either the most honest thing a banker has ever admitted in public, or the clearest evidence of exactly the problem the committee came here to investigate. You die a few months later, in Rome, in 1913. That same year, Congress signs into law an institution that the Panic of 1907 became one of the decisive reasons for building the Federal Reserve, a system designed to give the country something it had lacked that October night, a permanent institution able to respond when panic threatened the banks. America would no longer have to rely on one banker sitting in a private library. The strange thing is, both stories about you can be true. You may have helped save American capitalism, and you may also have become proof that American capitalism needed rules strong enough to survive without men like you. You spent your life becoming indispensable. Then the country built an entire institution designed to make sure no single banker could ever be indispensable again, the Federal Reserve. America needed J.P. Morgan, and that was the problem. Because a system that depends on one man's judgment has one obvious weakness. Eventually, that man won't be there. If you were J.P. Morgan, would you have locked it too? Thank you for joining us on today's journey. This story may have come to an end, but the journey of extraordinary people never truly stops. There are still countless lessons, decisions, and moments that changed history waiting to be discovered. The next chapter may arrive sooner than most people expect. If you enjoy exploring the mindset, habits, and secrets behind the world's greatest achievers, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's a simple action, but it helps us continue creating inspiring stories for people who are always striving to achieve more in life. And who knows, in the next episode, you may wake up in the life of another legend. We'll see you in the next journey.